Yes, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to GAA Fan TV, and we are here today to preview this weekend's Munster Hurling Championship final between Limerick and Tipperary. Huge game, of course, as always, and this is a huge game between Limerick and Tipperary. We absolutely know that, of course. Limerick, of course, have been very good in a couple of games this year, as we very well know. They probably haven't shown the quality that we would have expected, following on from winning the All-Ireland and following on from winning the league. Of course, they haven't quite shown that same level, and in all of the games they haven't been as consistent as Tipperary. We've seen against Cork, and we've seen in that last game against Tipperary that Limerick at times maybe the legginess in some ways is caught up with Limerick in the Munster Championship, and maybe that's why they can't quite compete as well in the Munster Championship as well as they have done in other competitions. But of course, guys, first of all, if you are new around here, do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think will happen. Of course, Tipperary have been outstanding this year. They've been a surprise in many aspects in this championship. I knew they were a great team. I knew Liam Sheedy is a very good manager. He's a proven track record of what he has done in this game is quite remarkable. And certainly looking at this game, or certainly looking at Tipperary's season so far, I mean, they showed quality in their league campaign, but certainly nobody quite expected them to deliver, as good as what they have so far. Winning all 4 games, and other than that Limerick game, they won their first 3 by quite a high margin, and just absolutely destroying teams like Waterford and Clare, getting past Cork with pretty much ease as well in their opening game. Of course, the injury to Patrick Maher is going to be a huge loss. He tore his ACL during the week, so unfortunately, or during last week, so unfortunately he will be missing and he won't play in this game, which I think is a huge miss for Tipperary. But of course they do have other talent in there. John McGrath, of course, has been outstanding so far this year for Tipperary, and you would expect him to very much kind of lead the torch or lead the line now for this Tipperary side. Of course, we know the talent of Limerick as well. Defensively, when they played Clare, I thought they were absolutely outstanding. They restricted Clare's opportunities. They tried to do something similar against Tipperary. They didn't quite succeed, obviously, with Tipperary's quality going forward and the fact that, how good they have been this year. But in particular, of course, in the midfield, Dermot Burns was very good in a couple of their games so far this year. I'll keep quite an eye out on him. Of course, you have to look at Aaron Glan. He's probably been Limerick's star player in the Munster Hurling Championship so far. In fact, he has been, hasn't he? He's been absolutely outstanding. And they just have an array of talent in so many aspects, this Limerick side. You've got players like Kyle Hayes as well. Shane Dowling, of course, who's predominantly been coming off the bench for the majority of this Munster Hurling Championship, but that does give them quite a good dynamic, and I think that's a thing that Limerick might have over Tipperary and over some other counties that they don't quite have, and that is the fact that they can bring a lot of players off the bench. Their conditioning is always very good. You don't see Limerick getting tired that much towards the end of a game. I suppose you'd have to say the same about Tipperary as well, wouldn't you? In terms of the last game, of course, when Tipperary played Limerick, we all kind of knew pretty much what was already happening. I mean, both sides didn't want to play their full hand. They didn't want to give away any tactics to the opposition in many respects, and certainly was both teams kind of feeling each other out. The intensity wasn't quite there in many aspects, and it was mostly all on Clare and Cork. And even in that game, everybody kind of had a fair idea how things were going to go down. So certainly going into this game, I'm expecting a much higher intensity. I'm expecting a very good game. In fact, Limerick haven't won a Munster Hurling Championship in quite a long time. I actually can't remember the last time they have won a Munster Hurling Championship. And even for Tipperary, it has been a couple of years as well. I think maybe three years has it been for Tipperary. I know Cork have won the last 2. So Yeah, I mean, a huge opportunity for Limerick to, write more history, winning the All Ireland for the first time in 60 odd years, winning their league campaign or winning a league title, for the first time in quite a long time as well. So a chance to make more history for this Limerick side and for their manager, John Kiley, who has very much changed Limerick in every aspect in terms of hurling. So I am expecting quite a very interesting game. It will be interesting to see how Tipperary respond to the injury of Patrick Maher, and it will be interesting to see how Limerick can adapt to that as well. Of course, in terms of my prediction, I really can't call it. And, the Munster Hurling Championship has been very strange in many ways because you've had a lot of one-sided games, and I didn't see that coming, to be perfectly honest, in the championship this year, especially in the Munster Championship. I think the quality in the two provinces is there in almost every way, especially when you look at how good Limerick and Tipperary are. I feel like they're a step above the rest, and certainly going into this game, it will be interesting to see obviously who wins the game and who goes through to the All-Ireland semi-final. So yeah, guys, in terms of my prediction, I'm going to say that Tipperary wins it by 2 points. I just feel like they have been the more consistent side in the championship. They're on a huge run at the moment, building momentum, 4 wins in a row. I can't see that slipping here, in my opinion. You would have to say at the moment Tipperary are favourites for the All-Ireland. I feel like, maybe Limerick are second favourites, maybe Kilkenny after that, but certainly at the moment Tipperary for me are just looking like by far the better side, and I will go ahead and say that I feel that they will win this game by 2 points. But of course, guys, do let me know down in the comments below, what do you guys think will happen? Who do you guys think will win this game? And of course, guys, my name has been Aaron, and I will catch you all next time.